Good day, fellow South Africans. You know me to be true to all of you. We, the people of South Africa, recognizes the injustices of our past. We are currently faced with a situation that threatens our democracy. The incumbent President, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, and his administration are operating opposite to the Constitution. They do this in front of all of us as ordinary South Africans. They cause things to operate in reverse or impair such reality. I currently find myself to be in a position that I am forced to slavery. And no matter what I say, how I say it, I am still forced to slavery. The problem with my reality is my profession. My profession does not allow or promote slavery. When you have respect of a doctor, a medical doctor, and respect such a doctor accordingly, perhaps as a specialist in either eyes or ear or heart or brain or skin or whichever specialist such a medical doctor may have. You cannot be in a position where you take such a doctor and presume him or her to be any other profession other than their respective profession. You cannot untrain them, even if you may take their respective licenses for whatever reason, but you cannot untrain them. Equally so, you cannot untrain a soldier. It is indeed correct that I am currently 36 months without salary. It is indeed correct that I am suffering as a person. It is indeed correct that my family is suffering. It is indeed correct that in any event in the past 3 years, my children have been deprived their inalienable rights as respective persons. Fellow South Africans, since 13 January 2003, I have been in service and defense of my country and its people in accordance with the Constitution and the law. I have served in the South African National Defence Force with loyalty and pride. I have done all this with respect to my code of conduct, which obligates me to, in any event, not advance or harm the interest of any political party or organization, and to accept personal responsibility for my actions and obey all lawful commands and respect all my superiors. The Code of Conduct for uniformed members of the South African National Defence Force obligates me to obey all lawful commands and refuse to obey an obviously illegal order. I carry out my mission with courage and assist my comrade in arms, even at the risk of my own life. I treat all people fairly and respect their rights and dignity at all times, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, culture, language, or sexual orientation. I respect and support my subordinates and treat them fairly. I do not abuse my authority, position, or public funds for personal gain, political motive, or any other reason. I report criminal activity, corruption, and misconduct to the appropriate authority. I improve the capabilities of the South African National Defence Force by maintaining discipline, safeguarding property, developing skills and knowledge, and performing my duties diligently and professionally. I am the son of the soil whose womb is buried and is now part of the ground you all call home, and interconnected with the world through my natural element, which is water. For I am born on the 3rd week of the 83rd year of the 19th century, on the 24th day of the Monday of January calendar month. I am unique and true Aquarian, which is the natural element which gives life to all elements of the universe. Therefore, I am not a grasshopper. I do not leap away from any challenge. In fact, I melt and or make such a challenge, for I am water, and water is life. After being raised by a single mother in a family of 6, of which I am the 5th, and in the stricken realities of poverty, living in a shack of the 3 rooms with my late brother who passed on in 2007, my 3 elder sisters and my younger brother as the elder male alive, I am head of that family, uncle to more than 10 nephews and nieces, and the only one from the womb of the late Onika Mangolele, who had a stable and constant patient in the family and a university degree. And witnessing the reality of the suffering of my country and my people during the apartheid era, which in law ended on 27 April 1994, which was my last year at Tukisang Primary School, in which I successfully completed Standard 4, and as a result of a mutual agreement between my late mother, who passed away on 8 March 2017, and my now 83-year-old grandmother, Leta Kukunana Majila, that I relocate from Kuma location near Tleksdorp to Mohogelo village near Hammanskraal, and I assist my mother's aunts whose 2 daughters were all married and has lost her husband David Majila in 1993. Then followed my arrival on 3 December 1994 as her 3rd child, and a son she never had, thereby resulting on myself having been the blessing of 2 mothers. Allow me to draw your attention to my roots as embodied by Leta Kukunana Majila, the last born and the only living sibling of Frederick and Maria Mabuse, and married to David Chankani Majila, is the person with a vision that every child's life and its fullness be without poverty and want, with a daily prayer for every leaf of the Mabuse tree to have heart that will make it so. And owed to her current torture, she now wonders what kind of God would allow such aggravating reality to her child. Through her global Christian relief, development and advocacy, she is a person dedicated to working with children, families and communities to overcome poverty and injustice. She had served all people, regardless of their religion, race, ethnicity, or gender, and operated through World Vision Global Partnership in 100 countries, and has built a substantial experience based on competency in both development and emergency aid, impacting the lives of over 200 million vulnerable children by tackling the root cause of poverty, and committed her heart to be only broken by the things that breaks the heart of God. She is now an icon worthy of healing the land and its people through a hospital that must be built in Mohogelo and cure the Republic for generations to come in her legacy. Inspired to see no child without protection, without health, without education and future employment. Her impact to most vulnerable children by identifying fragile and poverty-stricken realities. An initial assessment was conducted, starting with the children of Mohogelo and surrounding areas, and together with the community and community leaders, the highest priority to bring about transformational development were determined, and an implementation program was then crafted which impacted directly on the children and the community in which they lived. Her work was funded through child sponsorship as well as individual and corporate development partners as a member of World Vision Global Partnership, founded in the 1950s, and currently operates in more than 100 countries, and gave her the immense pool of experience and capability. Thousands of families are now standing as sovereign families amongst nations owed to her impact. And she is currently embarrassed as a leader to have to witness her child waking up aimlessly and antithetical to her stance and contribution to the universe. All the children of my generation in the entire community of Mohogelo know Mama Jila and her children. What had happened is an embarrassment to my family and its name, all for simply doing my job that I am paid to do. It is indeed true that I have no respect for the incumbent Mogoeng at all. And I have every respect for the functions of the Chief Justice in terms of the Constitution. And I trust the incumbent Mogoeng Chief Justice knows which legal steps to take in court when offended. In the same breath, it must be understood that any other person is equal before the law and can be replaced at any given time with a different person to perform the same mandatory functions. My issue is not with any other person, but their respective functions in service of the Republic. It is definitely not a lie that the Western Cape High Court is treating me as a kafir. And I am not ashamed to tell the absolute truth as it is. I have made every responsible effort to settle dispute by means of mechanisms and procedures provided for that purpose, and have exhausted all other remedies to secure my right to self-representation. My mandate in defending and protecting the Republic of South Africa is primarily as follows. Arrest the decline in critical capabilities through immediate directed interventions. Rebalance and reorganize the defense force as the foundation for future growth. Create a sustainable defense force that can meet current ordered defense commitments. Enhance the defense force capability to respond to nascent challenges in the strategic environment. I must reflect the resolve of South Africans as individuals and as a nation to live as equals, to live in peace and harmony, to be free from fear and want, and to seek a better life. Preserve life, health, property, and peace, national unity, and the indivisibility of the Republic, and secure the well-being of the people of the Republic. Provide effective, transparent, accountable, and coherent government for the Republic as a whole. Not to assume any power or function except those conferred on me in terms of the Constitution. Support any Department of State, including support for purposes of socio-economic upliftment. This mandate in defending and protecting the Republic of South Africa also include effect border control, cooperate with one another in mutual trust and good faith by fostering friendly relations, assisting and supporting one another, informing one another of, and consulting one another on matters of common interest, coordinating their actions and legislation with one another, and adhering to agreed procedures, and avoiding legal proceedings against one another. I do not obey a manifestly illegal order from any person and any organ of state. I am loyal to the Constitution, the Republic, and its people. I respect the constitutional status, institutions, powers, and functions of government in the other spheres. I respect the fundamental rights and dignity of all persons. I am taught and required to act in accordance with the Constitution and the law, including customary international law and international agreements binding the Republic. I have regard of the formulation and execution of defense policy is subject to the authority of Parliament and the National Executive. In performing my functions, I may not prejudice a political interest that is legitimate in terms of the Constitution, or further in a partisan manner any interest of a political party. I must give effect to the principle of transparency and accountability. Multi-party parliamentary committees must have oversight of all my security services in a manner determined by national legislation or the rules and orders of Parliament. My primary goals are to defend and protect South Africa by executing the following tasks: deter and prevent conflict, protect national interests, defend South Africa. Safeguard South Africa by executing the following tasks: safeguard borders, safeguard critical infrastructure, cooperate with the police service, ensure information security, promote peace and security by executing the following tasks: promote strategic influence, contribute to peace and stability, developmental and other ordered tasks by executing the following tasks: execute the relevant treaty obligations, ordered presidential tasks. That basically means that every order by the commander-in-chief is my command. Hence, the request not to cause the president to speak in contradictory terms. For example, if the president says, "Let there be justice in the republic," it therefore becomes my duty to ensure that there is justice. I may not disobey that, as it is a direct and legal order. Contribute to the development of South Africa and its people in terms of the National Development Plan as mandated by Parliament. The South African Navy has moved away from the traditional manner in which the assistance of private industry used to be contracted for the support of its product systems. The traditional manner proved to be not cost-effective enough when measured against the future challenges faced by the South African Navy. The South African Navy has been forced to find more cost-effective ways in contracting private industry due to the fact that the system support budget of Fleet Command did not increase in the same proportion as the size of the fleet had grown over the last few years. The South African Navy has selected a more participative or collaborative contracting model in which all future system supports contract will be based. The South African Navy Systems Organization is viewed as an integrated group of parties, each with its own area of support responsibilities, cooperating to provide all the support services required. The collective sum of these parties is supposed to be able to provide the full scope of support required to keep the fleet operational. One of the important parties in the Navy's integrated support organization is private industry. The assistance of local industry is required to support the South African Navy in those technology area and depths of complexity that the South African Navy cannot manage with its own capabilities. The assistance of industry is required in areas such as hull, propulsion systems, combat systems, weapon systems, mechanical systems, electrical systems, log engineering, and training. Generally, in support of depth C and D complexities. It is the intention that industry provides the required additional assistance by participating in a collaborative model through an on-site system support center. The South African Navy has changed its whole approach towards contracting of industry for the provisioning of support services. The approach adopted by the South African Navy is based on entering into more of a partnership relationship with local industry than what used to be the case in the past. A partnership relationship, by implication, means that the parties involved will cooperate more closely together to achieve a common goal. The parties in the partnership are local industry, AMSCO, and the South African Navy. The main reason why the South African Navy elected to change its traditional way of contracting industry assistance is to improve the cost effectiveness of the entire system support process. The establishment of support partnership with industry is more in line with modern best practices than what the traditional method of contracting was. The approach of the South African Navy has elected to follow is in line with official South African Navy policy. This support requirement specification is the first of many future requirements that will be based on this partnership model. This partnership model has at its core the establishment of a system support center, which is the SSC, in the Naval Dockyard premises in Simonstown. This SSC is managed as an integrated entity, simply meaning that your business is my business, and one cannot coexist without the other. The System Support Center is an organization comprising of a small complement of staff from the South African Navy, AMSCO, and a larger complement from industry. This organization operates as a formal entity, responsible for executing the system support tasks allocated to the System Support Center, and comprise of a joint management team and technical staff from a number of companies contracted by AMSCO to execute the work as described in this document. The System Support Center is responsible to execute support work related to preventative maintenance tasks, corrective maintenance tasks, supply support tasks, logistic engineering tasks, and system engineering tasks. The SSC function as a single integrated organization. The manner in which the organization is explained in the report produces the investigation that was given to me by Rear Admiral Mkhonto as Director Fleet Logistics. On 10 May 1994, newborn liberty out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, was born a society of which all humanity will be proud, where our daily deeds as ordinary South Africans must produce an actual South African reality that will reinforce humanity's belief in justice, strengthen its confidence in the nobility of the human soul, and sustain all our hopes for a glorious life for all. I did not choose to be the accused and product of a malicious prosecution before any court, whose proceedings were unlawful, unconstitutional, and invalid as a result of abuse of privilege and contempt of Parliament in suppression of the truth, and owed to the fact that the court expected me to prepare a defense without facilities, health, food, freedom, and security. I was denied the right to adduce and challenge evidence. From Vice Admiral Samuel Hlongwane, General Solishoke, the incumbent President Cyril Ramaphosa, and many others. And my testimony under oath and reality was ignored by the court. I did not choose to be the first respondent and product of constructive dismissal in the High Court of South Africa, Western Cape Division, Cape Town, to case number 8981 of 2017, whose order is unlawful, unconstitutional, and invalid as a result of abuse of privilege and contempt of Parliament in suppression of the truth, and owed to the fact that the occupation agreement was not validly cancelled. An extract from my application for leave to appeal is available on court file. I did not answer the national call as I have in these aggravating circumstances. I did not choose to see Africa Day in servitude without trial. I was chosen. My status relative to Batupele is true and correct. The spirit of Ubuntu is disrupted. The National Prosecuting Authority, as a single prosecuting authority in the Republic, with its power to institute criminal proceedings on behalf of the state and to carry out any necessary functions incidental to instituting criminal proceedings, and may intervene in the prosecution process when policy directives are not complied with, closed its doors on me the day my inalienable rights were taken. On 20 June 2018. Antithetical to the table of non-derogable rights, my inalienable rights are infringed and threatened, and I am in a state of emergency as rights have been suspended and degraded without just cause. In fighting for my inalienable rights, the consideration I received was a cold weather jacket to keep me warm in the street when I was administratively discharged while proceedings at the court of a senior military judge were underway. Fellow South Africans, I am tired. I am tired of living a reality of forgetting where we come from, of forgetting what brings us together, of forgetting what takes us forward. I am tired as the South African National Defence Force. The South African National Defence Force cannot tolerate criminal activity, corruption, apartheid and misconduct. Incumbent Cyril Ramaphosa, not any other person has come to you in terms of the Constitution and the law and demand that you must step down. I have done that. What did you do? You ignored me. Is that upholding, defending, and respecting the Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic? Is that promoting the unity of the nation and advancing that which will advance the Republic? President Cyril Ramaphosa, you are indeed the 5th president. That is not a lie. There is no doubt in that regard. My life is entrusted to the nation and the state. As Commander-in-Chief, you are obligated to act in accordance with the regulations. It is regulated by the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans in terms of Section 62L that soldiers entrust their inalienable right to life, guaranteed in the Bill of Rights, to the nation and the state. It is true. It is correct. I cannot doi. I cannot go about canvassing and saying people vote for me to be president, vote for me to be a soldier, vote for me. No. I cannot do that. The law does not allow me to do that because I am the shepherd of the law. I am the defense force. The defense force is the shepherd of the law. When the law says turn left, that is exactly where everybody must turn. When the law says lock down, that is exactly what must happen. And I refer to lockdown as a reality of our country and its people that is carried out on instruction of the law. And that particular law is the president, It is the president who makes the law. And such law must be done in accordance with the law. The president cannot wake up today and say, beating up a child with a fist and a knobkiri, it's lawful. You can't do that. The president can make it lawful after such has been tried and tested under the current statutory law. President Cyril Ramaphosa, you cannot ignore what your soldiers are doing. You have mechanisms employed in terms of law, and in particular, Section 101 of the Defense Act. You can have a board of inquiry at any place, at any time. The Minister of Defense must, in terms of Section 81 of the Defense Act, cause it to happen. And in doing so, the Secretary of Defense must account. The Chief of Defense Force must maintain the discipline and require all soldiers to act in accordance with the Constitution and the law. Such is not happening openly so, and it troubles me as a sane person, as a person entrusted with the duty to defend and protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to be forced to be asking people for money, while the reality that is being sustained is criminal activity, corruption, misconduct done by Vice Admiral Samuel Hlongwane and General Solishoke. They have colluded to unlawfully stop my pay and unlawfully remove me from my office so that they can continue to superfluously loot money out of the South African National Defence Force. It is treason that they have committed. It is the treason that must be dealt with in accordance with the Constitution and the law. I have nothing personal against those people. I have everything professional with them. I have thousands of subordinates looking at my actions and conduct each and every day. And I have a few of seniors in critical positions of state. Fellow South Africans, the 6th Parliament must dissolve before expiry of its term in terms of Section 50 of the Constitution. Mr. Kaso has constantly, continuously, persistently and maliciously ignored to, in terms of Section 44(4) of the Constitution, fulfill an obligation imposed in terms of Section 89 of the Constitution. I say this from reference to memory, and this facta probanda can be dealt with in terms of Section 56 of the Constitution. Fellow South Africans, the Constitution is the supreme law of the Republic. law or conduct inconsistent with it is invalid, and the obligations imposed by it must be fulfilled. Section 172 of the Constitution imposes an obligation that the invalidity is to the extent of the invalidity, if I'm to put it simple. Good people, my life is real, this video is real. My children and their children's children, they will be watching it for generations to come. They will see Papa O Teng. They will know it is indeed true that in any event, Papa O Teng, to manage a border of a republic, requires exactly that. To give effect to doing so requires the Constitution and the law. It is a systematic and symbiotic relationship that is inextricably linked. Ke matileleleme, ke monwana lele nala. It's a nail and finger. It's a tongue and saliva. That's how inextricably linked these things are. The Constitution and the law, and being a Majingilani in the border or of Mzansi Africa. People have a tendency of undermining security. And you cannot undermine security. You must respect security. And each and every security knows that I have respected them. My subordinates in Coal Point, they will tell you. They will tell you about me. The security at the Western Cape High Court will tell you about me. The security at the Pretoria High Court will tell you about me. At the Constitutional Court, at the Gauteng High Court, they will tell you about me. The security at the First Court of the African continent from Cape to Cairo in Simonstown Magistrate Court, they will tell you about me. The staff of a court in Lexato and both in Cape Town, they will tell you about me. I am an astute gentleman. I don't miss. It is what is required of the defense force. I respect all people. I treat them fairly. I do not take nonsense from any person. Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, you are the Commander-in-Chief of the South African National Defence Force as the 5th President. I am taking over your seat. It is true. People, yes, are scared of you as the President. They fear you. They have never knocked at your door saying, hey, Mangolele wants his car keys back. And as Commander-in-Chief, you are equally obligated to act in terms of Chapter 11 of the Constitution. That's where you find your function and imposed obligation to appoint all the people that you appoint in the National Defense Force. The reality is that Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, you need to stop running away. Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, you need to account. It's not that I did not approach you. I went to court, called you out, come to court. Let us discuss this reality in our country. I have done that. You go to any state attorney that I have dealt with, the state attorney in Johannesburg, they have all the records. If they do not, you must know that then your administration is truly failing. You must go to the record of the Johannesburg High Court. If they do not have those particular records, you must know that your administration is failing. You must go to the Judicial Service Commission. If they do not have those particular records, you must know that your administration is failing, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, and has failed. You must go to the state attorney in Pretoria. They have thousands of documents that I have sent to their office, and all those documents, they are all unique. It's not a copy and paste exercise. I am a soldier. You told me to serve and defend the country and its people in accordance with the Constitution and the law, and that is what I have done and am doing. I cannot run away from my reality. I cannot run away from my duty. I cannot run away from the obligations imposed by the Constitution. Incumbent President Cyril Ramaphosa, step down. General Rozani Mapfanya, you have before you in your office a sworn statement. Act in accordance with the terms of the sworn statement. I have followed each and every lawful procedure to come to this day. I have seen each and every unlawful deed that the incumbent President Cyril Ramaphosa and his administration has done. And all this, forgetting that everyone is equal before the law. Privilege is in terms of section 58(1)(b) of the Constitution when it comes to prosecution. Incumbent President Cyril Ramaphosa, you are not a member of Parliament. Parliament, you are obligated to act in accordance with the Constitution and the law. My life is for the Republic of South Africa. And my life is true. You do know that reality. You said to me, and I have equally said to you, serve and defend country and its people. That is my job. Country and its people are under threat from Cyril Ramaphosa and his administration as the 5th president of the Republic of South Africa. In my shoulders, it is South Africa that is written on them. It is South Africa I represent. South Africa is all of you, including the very same Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. My authority is statute. My authority is non-negotiable. My authority is the defense of the Constitution. It is like that. All of you may be saying that, hey, Mangolele has been doing whatever and whatever that I have been doing, it is true and correct. I have done those things. And in doing them, I can account for each and every one of them, without fear, favor, or prejudice. Prejudice is what I suffer as a person as a result of General Rosani Mopwanya not authorizing payment of my salary as a result of a misrepresentation in the DOD PESOL system in terms of Section 105 of the Defense Act, which is alleged to be my reality, and however my reality is the opposite of what is in the DOD PESOL system. It's like you want to say that in the DOD PESOL system it is written that I am female, whereas my reality is that I am male. The genitals of a male and the genitals of a female are two different things. Which one do you want people to believe as correct? The opposite? No. The opposite cannot be. And you cannot, with honor, dignity, courage, and integrity as General Rosani Mopwanya, continue to be in office and sustain such criminal activity, corruption, and misconduct. You cannot, seriously so, you cannot, not while during the people. You have tried to do so in the past in terms of the office having your predecessor as the incumbent chief of the South African National Defence Force. I am tired, people. I know it to be true that I can make a call right now and have a notice of motion set down right now. It is what I can do. However, my reality is that I'm unable to do so. I am forced not to do so because people do not want to listen to the truth. When I tell you that I don't want to be fighting with the security in court, I don't want to do that. It is true. Those are the people that I serve and defend. Security in court is only responsible for the court building. Security in the mall is only responsible for the mall. Security at the post office is only responsible for the post office. Security at the gate of the Chief Justice, it's Romeo 3, I think so, something like that. It's only responsible for that. And security anywhere, it's responsible for that. My uniqueness is that I am security of all securities everywhere in the Republic of South Africa. Everywhere. I am the biggest security as the defense force. The border is where I am marching my line. Dingumachingilani, amachingilani, kimachingilani, go bordering. And whenever anything would go wrong inside the Republic of the South Africa, as and whenever anything would go wrong inside the mall, the security would be forced to preserve peace and harmony in the mall. I am forced to preserve peace and harmony in South Africa. Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, your administration is corrupt, and I act in terms of the Constitution and the law to end that particular corruption. I make a motion to remove you. You must step down pending your removal in accordance with Section 89 of the Constitution. It is one too many times that such a motion has been made. You are now called upon as a person who have stood before all and sworn to uphold, defend, and respect the Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic. Respect the Constitution. Respect me. If you do not respect the person who defends the Constitution, then you do not respect the Constitution. If you do not respect the security who defends whatever premises or whatever piece of land, then you do not respect that piece of land. If you do not respect, literally so, such a person to a point of deciding that, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with this one, and then this is how I'm going to do this thing. If you do not see such a person, you will fail in your mission, as you are failing to run the country right now. President Cyril Ramaphosa, do not expect me as a soldier, as the South African National Defence Force, to be rallying, wanting to gather masses for you to get my attention. I do not operate like that. Do not twist my terms and reduce them to popularity contest. I do not operate like that. When I command you to step down, you must step down. When you step down, there is procedure that needs to take place. And that procedure cannot happen without me and you meeting. It cannot. I have diligently written to the National Executive and Parliament and sent them an email and showed all the people of the Republic of South Africa what I am doing. And I trust that they too act in accordance with the Constitution and the law on daily basis. It will be without fail for the office of the presidency to come and collect me where I am. I am not taking over in force. I am not taking over in violence. I am not taking over in disrespect. I am taking over in accordance with the Constitution and the law. The law must be respected. Right now, because Vice Admiral Samuel Hlongwane and General Solishoke and many others have acted as they have acted, I suffer severe pain. Both physically, I have lost weight, and mentally, I stress each and every day. I want that particular stress to end. It is painful to be looking at other people driving their cars, and then when you see what happened with you, it was the military and the police that took your car keys when they rob you inside Sunnyside police station. Can I fight with the police when they do their job? I cannot fight with the police when they do their job. I can only fight with the person that sent the police. And Section 2012A of the Constitution imposes an obligation that only you, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, can authorize the deployment of the Defense Force in cooperation with the police service. And it is correct. It has been you each and every single time that I have been arrested. Because each and every single time that I have been arrested, the reality is that police and military have cooperated. And as it is said in the book of Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela, cooperation merely means achieving a common goal. I do not want to suffer anymore. I do not want my children to suffer anymore. I do not want my family to suffer anymore. I do not want my grandmother to suffer anymore. I don't want her to pass on without meeting Aluta Songelwa. I don't want Nyiko Mangolele to grow up without meeting Aluta Songelwa and then defending her as his brother, with them growing up together, getting to know each other, and getting to know all my family members as it is their family. I do not want for my children to grow up without a father. I don't want that. No father would want that. General Rozani Mapwanya. All this I know, and I know to be true because I am an African. Because of that, I am also able to state this fundamental truth that I am born of a people who are heroes and heroines. I am born of people who would not tolerate oppression. I am of a nation that would not allow that fear of death, torture, imprisonment, exile, or persecution should result in the perpetuation of injustice. The great masses who are our mother and father will not permit that the behavior of the few result in the description of our country and people as barbaric. It is extremely painful to remember pain. It is painful to be seen as a vexatious person, as no person would want to be in a savage road where their name has no value at all for simply doing their job. It is painful to be ignored, and instead of growing every day, you are seen to be shrinking every day, as if my world, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. For one to actually explain how it feels to be sliced or cut by a bottle underneath their foot, one must first remember how the pain felt like, so as to allow him to fully express its actual meaning. It therefore follows that this part of giving a slight glance of my pain is extremely painful, and for the sake of its clarity, guarding against emotion which shall inhibit me to complete this task as a person, the description of my torture is not only limited to the following terms. It is painful to forget that my child's best interests are described by the Constitution to be of paramount importance in every matter concerning them. As in my reality, such paramount importance does not hold true. It is painful to be tortured both mentally and physically by the courts denying to entirely protect my human dignity as mandated by the table of non-derogable rights. It is painful to be insulted, degraded, and undermined by the court staff to a point of directing that I be thrown out like a rubbish out of the court, and only to find that in actual fact I must lay my life for these people as of current. I must love them, defend them, and protect them and all those connected to them. And my reality is that I am on duty 24/7, and I represent the entire republic just as the president and or any person holding statutory office. If one actually sits down and look at my post profile, it is the only title in the South African Navy, and its duties were never performed by anyone else before but me. It is the only post of its kind in the entire Republic of South Africa. What pains me the most is that I can't even enjoy watching television as the projected intention of the Republic are antithetical to my reality and my efforts of enacting mandatory responsibilities to all persons and organs of state I have engaged with in search of my liberty, from servitude, slavery, forced labor, or of being expected to stick to the stringent rules of court which are truly not known at random by any person not employed to engage with them on daily basis. Yet the right to self-representation is true, and so is reality. It is extremely painful to watch an advert on television, especially of funeral covers, knowing very well that many of your family members have already passed on and you are not allowed to bury them and subjected to servitude. It is equally painful to watch an advertisement of any type of food, knowing that you had all of those food in the comfort of your own home, and because you woke up and did your job, now you find yourself having to ask yourself, who am I going to ask for money to buy one tea bag, half loaf of brown bread, and a few teaspoons of sugar just to live another day? Even prisoners who committed heinous crimes are not treated like that in jail. And because I am a good person, I shall not subject the accused person to this cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. That is why I am asking you politely, Mr. Ramaphosa, to step down as the 5th President of the Republic of South Africa, and you must go away with your administration. I hear people always talking about their families, and I find myself having to forget my own family owed to the decayed status it is in. I find it hard to call my grandmother as she is constantly in pain, in fear, and without health because of my situation, which is publicly known throughout the entire universe. I cannot freely associate with my family members and other persons. It is painful to see your own 2-year-old daughter sick, and there is nothing you can do or say because you are without food, money, shelter, and any possibility of an income before she was even born. It is painful to watch people driving their cars, and in suppression of the truth, I am denied with impunity my own car, which I owe nobody a cent for. It is important to distinguish between practice and law. What you are practicing right now is me having to ask people for money and then me walking without my car. It is what you are practicing. It is what the administration of the incumbent Cyril Ramaphosa, the incumbent president Cyril Ramaphosa, is practicing. I did go to the police station wanting my car, and the police, mind you, are the nearest that I can go to, and ultimately this will get to the military police, because the military police are the last line of defense when all organs of state fails. They are obligated by law as peace officers to return my car keys in accordance with the Constitution and the law, not in accordance with will after you have spent the whole week with my car keys. Enough for you to go copy them, and then so that you and I are owning the same car. And by the Constitution and the law, that means you also arrest the perpetrator. The perpetrator is the person who have sent and employ the armed force and police service to come and then take those particular car keys. Instead of the state attorney looking at, yay, wrong has been done here, the state attorney looks at protecting that wrong. The state attorney is not people. The state attorney is an organ and function of state. It is the lawyer of a state who does not want the state, and the state is all people employed by the state and living in the state or in the state or connected to the state. Fellow South Africans, I am deeply hurt by my current reality. I know that many of you don't like the fact that the videos are long, but I have to simplify this matter such that my children and their children's children are able to understand it tomorrow. Why was our father not there? Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa is standing between me and my children. And it is true and correct. I do not have my children now because Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa is in power. I do not have my salary now because Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa is in power as the commander-in-chief and has employed people to sustain and babysit corruption in the South African National Defence Force that they see. When they see Section 105 of the Defence Force, the Defence Act, they don't even respect it. They don't. Section 105 hearing, it's the keys that we use to enter in there. It's the disrespect of the law that I'm up against. I cannot run away from the reality that I must father my children and I must buy a stock suits, at least a stock suits. Even maybe I may drink the whole money and not buy them pampasses or something like that, but let it be my own choice. Let it not be the choice of Vice Admiral Samuel Hlongwane. Let it not be. Vice Admiral Samuel Hlongwane did not call me at all, because they had to remove me at the System Support Center, because at the System Support Center, what I was doing was to run the System Support Center to save the country and its people money and eradicate fruitless expenditure. I will make a presentation when my friend allows me to do so. And my friend is you, all of you, fellow South Africans whom I represent on my shoulders. You don't have to like me, you don't have to love me, you must just understand that South Africa is all of you. And I am for you. I do feel pain. I do want my salary paid. And yes, my salary will only be paid by one office. And that office is that of you, General Rosane Mapoanya. And I do understand that your PSO is doing everything in his power to make sure that I do not get to see you and then address operational readiness with you. I must address operational readiness in service and defense of my country and its people, and then I will do so. General Rosane Mapoanya, you must understand my aggravating circumstances. You must understand that earlier today I have asked the South African Human Rights Commission in terms of its mandate, the constitutional mandate, not in terms of its personalities. You may have friends within the South African Human Rights Commission, but then do not let friendship affect effectiveness, efficiency, accessibility, and dignity of a respectable institution that the blood of our mother and father has wet our grounds for. The South African Human Rights Commission is the highest commission in the Republic of South Africa. It is true. Without human rights, we have no human rights. The South African Human Rights Commission is obligated to ensure and secure human rights for all people. I did not have to go there. I also went to the South African Police Service not so long ago and told them about my sworn statement taking over as the President of the Republic of South Africa in so many ways, that they will investigate and find it out as such, but then they took no action because they were told, no, Mangolele, when he comes and open a case, don't, hey, what, don't. So it is those particular issues that we are running our country with. I want this country to run in accordance with the Constitution and the law. I demand such, and such is what must happen. General Rozani Mapwanya, you are the incumbent chief of the South African National Defence Force. You must act in terms of Section 14 of the Defence Act. I know that the President appoints you in terms of Section 13, I know that, but what you must do is act in terms of that. And when acting in terms of that, primarily you must observe the provisions of Section 2G of the Defence Act and respect my fundamental human rights. We have a defense force to lead. We have our subordinates looking at us each and every day. They listen to these videos. They have been scared and told lies. Hey, do not associate with Mangolele. He's imprisoned for a period not exceeding 5 years. Hey, you know, I must make a comedy show about the realities of my life. But anyway, maybe being president is that you don't enjoy such privileges. And but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be president for the whole year. It's just 30 calendar days that must be. The only thing is that the country and the Republic of South Africa, its people, and every organ of state in it must decide to uphold, defend, and respect the Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic. I thank all people. I don't have money. I'm hungry right now. I haven't eaten since morning. I don't have money for food. I am in trouble. I don't have energy to ask any of you to assist me financially because I do not have strength. It is true, even the Bible says it, money is defense. And I am without that particular money as a result of unlawful activity conducted by a few in power. Those of you who are able to assist, kindly assist without me having to ask you. Any little that you can, as urgent as you can. Contact me and then let's see what happens. Please, man. And then, fellow South Africans, I am here to serve you. Being here to serve you, I thank all of you for your support. I would not be alive today if any of you did not support me as you have. And I'm being realistic in that regard. Some of you support me secretly, and I thank you for that. Some of you support me openly, some of you are scared. And a lot of you, in fact, are scared. And I don't want you to be scared. Good people, I am a person. I have trained in terms of Section 54 at Gordons Bay as an officer and a gentleman. I am a gentleman. I am hard, yes, and I am expected to order a subordinate to their death, yes, and I am expected to kill people for this particular republic as I have done, yes. I am the defense force. I don't play games. I secure the borders of the Republic of South Africa. I secure the territorial integrity, including the national sovereignty of our republic and our democracy. Let us go forward, fellow South Africans. Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, you have all the resources that I do not have. Your respect of the law will be to come and collect me where I am, and I appear before you with the South African Broadcasting Corporation to educate the Republic of South Africa of our conversation. General Rosane Mapwanya, you are to be there. It is true that General Solishoke must be there as well. It is true that the former Minister of Defense Force and Military Veterans, Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula, must also be there. It is true that Vice Admiral Samuel Hlongwane must also be there. Primarily, I am asking for this particular meeting in service and defense of my country and its people, and the urgency of it is a matter of national security. And when I say these few must be there, the few people that I have mentioned must be there. Such must be in terms of Section 56 of the Constitution. I have written to you. You know that I am not lazy to write. I can write. I can write as I speak right now. It's like right now I've just written this thing to you. So consider it as a written notice. We must go with technology as we go with technology. And I shall email you this particular link and expect you as Parliament to deal with this particular link. Remember, serving and defending the country means exactly that. It is serving and defending the country and its people. I thank you.